Hello everyone, it's Christine here and I'm back for our stitch along and we're going to be doing crow's foot today. So I've just stitched that in backstitch using my vintage DMC Perle cotton in a sort of goldy mustardy colour. And crow's foot stitch is apparently traditionally a tailoring technique and it's used to strengthen stress points on a garment. But it is also a decorative technique that you can use on the surface of fabric like we're going to be doing today, and it creates a cute little triangular shaping. So I've just tied a knot in the end of my Perle cotton and drawn my triangle using my friction marker. And so we're going to pop up at the bottom left of the triangle. We're going to then take our needle up to the very top and we're just going to take a tiny little stitch at the very top of the triangle. So we're just picking up the tiniest little bit of fabric and we'll try not to catch on our fabric. And then we're going to, and as you can see, it makes a little sort of like loop at the top. Then we're going to come down and we're going to do another little stitch from the bottom to the other side of the corner. And then we're going to come over here. So I've just turned it up, sort of the fabric upside down, and we're going to take a little tiny stitch from here. Oops, that was a bit too big. You just want to be picking up the tiniest little bit of fabric. So I'm just going to get my thread out of the way. And so you're making this little loop that hopefully you can see at each of the corners. Then again, we're going to come up to the top and we're just going to take a slightly bigger stitch than the first one, just next to it, following the sort of the line of the triangle, but just picking up a slightly bit more of the fabric. Then we're going to come back down to that right hand lower corner, and again we're going to just take a slightly bigger stitch next to where the first stitch was, and then we're going to come around to our third corner and again do the same, just a slightly bigger stitch than the first stitch. And I guess you can make these as sort of far apart or as close together, and if your thread's sort of thicker then yeah, you won't have to be quite as close. Then we go back up to the top and we take our next stitch. And then we come back down to the bottom and take our next stitch, just again picking up a little bit more fabric each time and taking your stitch just next to where your last stitch was. And going round and round in a clockwise direction. And just periodically just sitting your fabric down and sort of pulling it straight so that the stitches sort of sit semi-straight. And then we come back up to the top. So if you always think clockwise, if you lose where you are, you just need to look where's the next bit that would be clockwise around the shape. Just taking slightly more of a stitch. Then coming across to this corner. And again, just taking a slightly larger stitch from the last stitch at this corner. And then back to the top. So I'm not sure if this one would be easier to work in a hoop or not. It might make it a bit, you don't have to then sort of fashion it out, but it might be harder to move around. This fabric scrap doesn't fit in my hoop, so that's why I'm not using a hoop. But as you can see, it's even making a really sweet little shape already. We will keep completing it, but if you have a look, it's just got this lovely little inner dimension and then this sort of upper. You could even do a beautiful flower, I think, if you overlaid two of these potentially over the top of each other. But we'll stick to the book's requirements, and we won't get all inventive right now. but it will definitely be a stitch that I use again because I think it is, yeah, very pretty. So we literally just keep moving around, just making slightly larger stitches, picking up slightly more fabric at each corner as we go around and just letting it flatten out a little bit as well as we go. Let's just do that with a little thread cord there. But that's, yeah, that's really pretty. I like this sort of wheaty colour with it as well. It does remind me a bit of a wheat sheaf as well. So interesting, the patterns you can get with yeah, simple movements of your thread. I've just caught another little thready bit in. Then this corner. And then up to the top. We're getting closer because you really just keep going until you've basically all your corners have sort of come in and met each other, if that makes sense. And then you start to get this decorative piece in the middle. Then over to this corner. And then up to the top. And then we might just do this as our final round, I think. I think we've almost met up our points. So this will be our final stitch in here. And we'll just lay it flat before I take it through to the back. Just sort of stretch it out so that you make sure it's sitting and not buckling the fabric. And then I'm just going to take it down slightly next to where we finished up and take it through to the back. And then I'll just put a little holding stitch in the back. Don't notice my little untidy extra bit of yarn at the back there where I made a loop. Not my tidiest back stitching effort at all. But I think our little crow's foot is a very cute little stitch. I think that's really sweet. And as I said, I quite liked it when it was in its partially finished stage where you also had that sort of, yeah, the dimensions at the centre. You could even put like a little sort of French knot in the middle. But yeah, that's definitely one to add to the repertoire. So I hope you enjoyed that. We've got an exciting one coming up tomorrow, which is cut work embroidery, and we're going to be making a cut work heart. I'll just give you a quick look at that in case you want to get your sort of design drawn on. So the design that we would need is this design here with an inner heart in it. I think I've got some heart cookie cutters downstairs, so I might even use that to draw around to make the heart that I'm going to use. But I hope you enjoyed Crow's Foot today. Take care, everyone. I hope you have a great day or a great evening. Bye.